My name is Paul Kuykendall. I live on Poiki Road, about a mile and a half up from the boat ramp. So right now we're at a local church. I've forgotten the name, but we're at a church that offered to host us as we make our march to HELCO. This is Sunday evening. We started out Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and we marched from there, maybe 8 or 9 miles, that first leg. And then we camped there overnight. And, you know, the beautiful thing is, every step of the way we've had the support of the community. We had people with water trucks. We had people stopping and cutting coconuts for us. We had people stopping and cutting pineapples for us. People have pitched these big tents when we camp. So here we are Sunday night. We're camping here at a local church, which is about 2.5 miles from HELCO. And we've had people in the community feeding us breakfast, feeding us dinner, giving us water along the way. If during the march anyone got tired, we called a list of people who volunteered, and they would come and pick people up, bring them to their cars. So it was a massive outpouring of support from the community. And so for every one person that was marching, there was probably 4 or 5 that were in some way or another supporting the effort. I heard it was about 110, maybe more. And gosh, there was so much energy when we left Pahoa, and that energy just kept. You know, it was a long walk, but every time somebody showed up and nurtured us by feeding us or pouring water on us or giving us water, it gave us, it inspired us just to keep going and keep walking.
Is Happy Home still with you guys?
You know what? He was amazing. He didn't walk with us today, but he showed up this morning and gave us a couple of songs while we were all stretching, and really, his music was really inspiring. I told him Saturday night when he was singing his songs that I was just in ecstasy, just listening to him, just being happy that the community was all together and we were doing something for Pohoiki. I think it was making him up on the spot. Where we live, you know, I think everybody has this experience of they have places in their community that are really special to them, and certainly Pohoiki is special to us. We swim down there, we fish down there, we come together as a community, and we want it to stay pristine, and we want it to stay beautiful, and we want it to be there for the keikis. And so our hope is that there is no more geothermal development down there in that area. And as a matter of fact, as a resident there, and I live within a mile of the plant, of the current plant, we're well aware of the noise, we're well aware of the emissions, we're well aware of the threat to the land and the air, and also to the people that live there. And you know, they just finished the Adler health study commissioned by the mayor, and they found in that study that there wasn't adequate monitoring, there wasn't adequate evacuation for emergencies, there wasn't adequate testing for the air and the water, and that's been happening since not just PGV, but since HGPA, which was brought to, that well was drilled in 1976. So for 37 years, we've had geothermal in our neighborhood. And for 37 years, none of those things have been done. So our feeling is they shouldn't do any more geothermal development until, well, actually, they shouldn't do any more geothermal development in Pohoiki. But they certainly, given the history, they shouldn't be doing anything more, given all these questions that actually have been documented. The community already knew about it, but the Adler health study helped to document many of those questions, and we're hoping that the rest of Hawaii gets to see the truth about geothermal power.
It seemed, so you were following that process with the study?
Oh, absolutely.
It seemed to me, I only saw the draft. I don't know if when the final.
The draft is out, and I recently went and commented on that draft, and My comment was, last year there were 2 bills in front of the Hawaii County Council. They passed both bills. One was for a better evacuation plan, a real evacuation plan, and the other was to fund health studies. And the mayor vetoed both of them, and he said there's already money there for a health study. So a month later, Punapono Alliance, we made a proposal to the county for a health study. And it was only after that, in September, that the mayor commissioned the Adler Health Study. The Adler Health Study took a year. Again, here we are in August, it's a year later, and guess what? The mayor commissioned the Adler Study so he could push the issue until after the election. He got what he wanted. And here we are a year later, the Adler Health Study says, guess what? We need a health study. So it's now 37 years since the state dug and we've waited another year for the health study, and we're saying, do what the health study asks. Get good monitoring, find out what's going on with the citizens, find out what's happening with the air and water. And let's not discuss doing any more geothermal development. And let's not do any more contracts for more geothermal development until we get that baseline done. They keep trying to push it out. And people wonder why the people in Puna are angry. And my wife and I, we moved onto our property. We believed the PR on geothermal. We thought it was clean and green and wonderful. And it was only after we lived next to the plant that we found out that it leaks hydrogen sulfide, that there are heavy metals that are emitted when they release the brine, and they do it quite often. They've had 70 or so incidents at PGV over the years, and they've had more incidents there than any power plant in Hawaii. So once we've experienced it, and now that we know what it's like, what we want to do is make sure everybody else knows about it. And if they're going to do any more geothermal development, make sure that the people that are going to live next to that plant are aware of the impact it's going to have on their community. Because it's not just the drilling noise, but the day-to-day noise. It's like having a freeway or an airport next to you. It can be very loud with the turbines.